Alright, welcome back everyone. Just wanted to do a quick little intro to a series I'm going to put together on this Sportster. I had this in some of my other videos. It's a 93 Harley Sportster. It's just an 883. So this winter, I'm going to be tearing down this bike and I'm going to be doing a bobber style build. So what is a bobber? Term gets thrown around a lot, but it seems like a lot of people don't really know what it is, and that's for good reason. So the term bobber goes all the way back to 1920s. And in the 1920s, they were trying to take bikes and kind of modernize them and emulate the race bikes at the time. And by doing that, they were removing a lot of accessories, kind of taking bikes to bare bones, and they were cutting or bobbing the rear fender to shorten it. And that's where the term bobber comes from. Then around the 1960s, the term chopper came about. Now, at the time, chopper meant that it was going to be a build revolved around a custom frame. There was a lot of cutting of the frame, hence the word chopper. And it was more based around styling than it was performance or minimalist stuff. It was a little more show-oriented. So the term bobber or chopper doesn't necessarily mean a whole lot. It really depends on who you're asking, because over the years there's been so many builds, so many different bikes that the builds have been performed on, but typically chopper is more like the custom frame style stuff you see, and the bobbers is a stock-ish style bike where you cut the back fender and you kind of give it more of a minimalist look. There's no black and white here. There's a lot of gray area, and in the end it doesn't really matter. They're more just ideas, but every build is different and every person wants to build their bike a little different, so it doesn't necessarily matter if it's by the books a bobber or a chopper, because there is no book. So first we're going to have to disassemble the bike, get everything we don't need off it, as well as some things that are in the way just out of the way, off to, you know, put back. Some will go back on, some won't. Then we're going to be relocating a bunch of things. We're going to be relocating the headlight a little bit, the coil, and the ignition switch, as well as a few other things. I'm also going to clean up the handlebar controls. I'm going to run the wires inside. I'm going to go with some minimalist switches to kind of clean up the handlebars and get rid of the stock clamshells on there. So once everything's in the place we want them, I'm going to be rewiring the bike. Now, I have a Motor Gadget M unit, which I'll get into more detail in later, but it's going to be replacing much of the stock wiring, which will both fix some things that have been lingering, as well as, you know, give a whole bunch of functionality, which I'm really excited about. Another thing that's been lingering on the to-do list for a long time is the gaskets for the rocker box. Now, it's a common failure point on these Evo Sportster engines, and it's, since day one I got this bike a few years ago, it just leaks out of those rocker boxes constantly. So I'm going to get those replaced, hopefully stop the leaking and stop it from marking its territory, as some would say, in other people's driveways. Now, you may notice that most of that is aesthetics and not performance-based, and that's really the goal of this build. It's to really change the look of this bike, not so much the performance. That being said, I would like to do some performance mods, so depending on how much money is left over in my budget at the end of this, I might be doing that as well. I do have some parts that I've been slowly gathering on the side, just, you know, still missing a few, but we'll see how it goes, and maybe we'll do that. So I'm extremely excited about this build. I hope you guys are too. And if you want to follow along, please subscribe and check it out. I'll be posting a whole bunch of videos in the coming months. And hopefully you guys like what you see. And if not, let me know in the comments. Tell me what I'm doing wrong. So I appreciate all the feedback. So I'll see you guys next time.